This is exactly what I wanted to hear. And you know what's funny? It's like yesterday we heard that Joe was playing more snaps under center, which means under center snaps are coming very, very soon to this offense, so we can actually start, being less predictable. That was a huge plus yesterday. And I thought, you know what? There's not much that could get better than what we heard yesterday when it comes to, playing under center snaps. So listen, that's like the peak of the peak. That means offense is going to get going. And then today, we hear this. Shout out to Trags on Twitter for posting this, or Mike, or I think he's part of the Wincy podcast. But this is what Brian Callahan said. I think it's reasonable expectations to see him play more for rookie Chase Brown. And I can't stress that enough, how amazing that little short statement. You might say that's a little short statement, man. Or you're kind of stretching it a little bit. No, that's actually freaking amazing. Because so far, we have not seen much of Chase Brown, like in the beginning of the season. Then the last couple weeks, we've seen a little bit more, he had a catch last week, he had a run. And we started seeing a tad bit more. What we need this offense to do is have players like Chase Brown, like Myles Murphy, like, what's that offense? Yoshi, Chuck Sizzle, and Chase Brown to step up and really give us something, right? Show us something. Show us why we drafted you. Because, let's be honest, players like Chase Brown, they're the future of this team. And at the end of the day, yeah, we love Joe Mixon, but Joe is not going to be here forever, right? He has a short shelf life of time left in Cincinnati. Chase Brown, or whoever running back we pick up after him, is the future of this team, and we need them to start being the future of this team. And it's not really any shot at Chase Brown. He just hasn't gotten really many carries. After coming out of the preseason where Chase Brown led the NFL with the most pass blocking attempts of any running back, he really hasn't gotten any carries throughout this season. Now, when he has had carries, he hasn't really done too great with them. And you might say, well, that's, kind of the mentality that Tom Brady actually talks about, where it's like Tom Brady says back when he was in Michigan, he was ticked off because he would only get 3 reps in practice, and that was it. And he was like, I want more reps. I'm never going to become great if I don't get more reps. Well, one of his coaches said, we're going to give you 3 reps, but make those 3 reps the best reps you ever did. Make them perfect. Master them. Make it look like, you are the best option possible off 3 single reps. So that's kind of what we're seeing with Chase Brown is you need to, make the most possible happen with the little, time you're getting. Nonetheless, though, to see him actually get more play time would be amazing. I love Travion Williams. I love Chris Evans. But in all honesty, I feel like they're not going to be able to capture the same type of explosive play that we're going to see out of Chase Brown. Now, Chase Brown is younger, right? I think he's faster than those 2 guys. And he has more potential right now than those 2 guys. So, I can't wait to see it. More Chase Brown. Yes, please. Thank you. I'll take that. The second thing we have here is Lou Anarumo says Myles Murphy has had a good week of practice. Hints at a bigger role. See, this is the thing, right? Jordan Battle has been a home run hit, right? He's been playing great. DJ Turner, superstar hit. Poison Ivy, he's on the roster, but he's never been activated. Right? That's not really a fault of his own. That's a fault of the fact we have so many good corners. Myles Murphy, well, yes, he has been active and he has had play time. He hasn't really done much of anything with that play time. And it's ironically enough, it's the opposite of what I would say with Chase Brown. Is that with Chase Brown, I would say, he has had very, very, very limited snaps. But with those snaps, he has made the most of them with a catch, and a couple blocks and, again, a run play. But with Myles Murphy, it's kind of like the opposite, feels like. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the snap count right now for these 2 guys. Because so far, it's, well, let me pull up the snap count. Kind of give a generalized look of what I'm about to say. But, Chase Brown is making the most of his snap count. That's what I'll say with that context. But Chase Brown so far this season has had 8 total snaps. And again, he's made the most of that. Last week was actually the most snaps he had. He also had a catch. He had 4 snaps last week. Myles Murphy, on the other hand, a first-round draft pick who we really expected to really pick up quickly and take off, has had 66 total snaps on the year. That is more than Joseph Ossai. Obviously, Joseph Ossai did miss some weeks due to injury, but that's still not much. I mean, last week he had 1 single snap. 7 against the Cardinals, 19 against the Titans. 19 against Titans. He had 7 versus the Rams, 19 versus the Ravens, and 13 versus the Browns. Now, of course, a lot of that is that, when we get in games where our defense gives up 10-minute drives, like they did against the Titans and the Ravens, then, you do see more Myles Murphy because you have rotations and you need to keep players fresh. But what I'm seeing out of this is that when he is in there, they're not seeing a good enough production value that they want to keep him in there. And you're seeing players like Cam Sample really step up and, take off for us this year. And he's getting 132 snaps this year. There's a reason why he's getting 132 snaps. It's because of the fact that not just rotation, they see something in him. And we saw, we heard Coach Taylor talk about yesterday how, he's stepping up and he looks really good. Myles Murphy is not making the most of his opportunities that he's getting. Now, they are moving him around defensive line and really trying to see what they can do with him, and he's very versatile, and that's awesome. But at the end of the day, we need to see him step up. So it's good to hear that Lou Anarumo is saying that, he had a really great week of practice. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact he had a good week of practice. But what I need to see is on the field. At the end of the day, I hate to say this, but I don't care about practice at this point. When it comes to, a first-round draft pick, I need to see what he does on the field. Now, the good thing is, and I do want to go ahead and press this enough by saying, we do have to relax, okay, when it comes to rookies. A lot of times, especially first-round rookies, you invest a lot of capital into them, and you go out there and you say, oh, he should be the best player ever. He should be the best week 1 or week 2 or week 3. We have to relax. It takes time for players to develop in the NFL. It's not easy. I know he's coming from Clemson, a big college, but it's not easy going from Clemson to the NFL, right? He's going to a very, I don't say not challenging defense, but he's going to a very unique defense, I will say, when it comes to Lou Anarumo. I mean, I think the best way to put it is Jim Schwartz, the new Browns head coach, new Browns defense coordinator. He said that with his defense is not complicated at all. He just lets his front 7 guys get after the quarterback, and he lets his guys in the back end, cover. That's pretty much that. And you go from, Clemson to that, Myles Murphy might be a lot more successful. But because he's going into Lou Anarumo's defense, and Anarumo's defense is, again, not like different. It's not like hard to learn, but it takes time to develop in. There's that kind of mentality. And also, they're probably not trying to rush him in there. And the thing is, right, when you have a player like Cam Sample here who's really taking off and doing really good things, it's less of a push or rush, I will say, to try to force Myles Murphy in there. If you're like, well, Cam Sample is doing really good here, and we love him as a rotational piece with Hendrickson and Hubbard, maybe we don't need to put in Myles Murphy as much. And you see one snap last week, right? So, again, I love the fact he's doing good in practice, but we need to see more production out of him. And I'm not saying we need to see him go out there and look like he's a 7-year veteran. Listen, at the end of the day, no, that's not what he's going to look like, and he's never going to look like that in the first year. I just need to see more consistency on some of the pass rushes. I want to see more consistency with the snaps he does get. And again, like I said, Chase Brown, I'm not trying to sit and say he's been perfect either. No. With the snaps he's gotten, he hasn't been perfect. But I think he has shown me something that when he has gotten the ball on a couple plays, again, like I said, he did have that catch versus the... Actually, it wasn't the Seahawks. It was Cardinals. It was actually what set up the Yoshi touchdown. But yeah, that showed me he can at least, be productive in this offense. And again, we need as many productive bodies as possible in this offense. This is going to be a long season, but we have a very tough season. We have the toughest strength of schedule of any team in the NFL moving forward in the second half of this season. So there's no excuses. We all have to contribute. As Zach Taylor said, every single player of the 53-man roster will be called upon this season to show us what they have. And Chase Brown, it's now your turn, man. It's now your turn. I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. But please do what's right for Who Dey Nation here. You are the future. We need you to be the future here. See you guys in the next one.